Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about this new Misfits card that just got announced, Misfits number 18. I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts, and at the end of the video, I'm going to give you guys my rating out of 10 for this non-pay-per-view card. But starting off with the kickoffs, there are two fights according to the poster. Big Tobes will be going against Kels. If people who are from the US, I don't know. I don't know who Kels is or Big Tobes. I heard Big Tobes is a rapper from the UK, so I think this is a fight that's more for the UK side of things. And yeah, I would say the UK fan base would enjoy this fight more than people who live in the US. So that's the first fight on the kickoffs according to the poster. Following up with Nikki Rue versus Carla Jade. Just recently had Nikki Rue on my show for an interview about a week ago in Miami. Posted it a few days ago. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, please go do. It was a very fun episode to make. And what I think about both of these fighters, I think for Misfits fans, this is a good one for them. I feel like Misfits fans enjoy seeing these type of fights. I feel like two people who kind of care about the craft at the end of the day, and these two go back and forth on Twitter already, even before when the fight was officially announced. And so yeah, Nikki Rue, Carla Jade, I think it's kind of in some aspects, it's kind of insane to have it as I guess a prelim or a kickoff, however you want to describe it. I know the kickoffs aren't supposed to represent a prelim fight, but I feel like just how the way it's structured and everything, it kind of is a prelim. I don't really know. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Nikki Rue Carla Jade fight. Following up with the next two fights, a pro boxing tournament between Idris Virgo and Fez Batista, Chris Avila versus Benson Henderson. Benson Henderson, also former UFC fighter. Chris Avila, obviously, with Nate Diaz Army and everything like that. Fez, we saw him back in Misfits 12, and Idris Virgo, who honestly, Idris Virgo on Twitter, that is hilarious. He also last fought in Misfits 9 against Aaron Chalmers. I know Fez Batista was a late replacement for this tournament. Trust me, not my first. I wouldn't put him first up for like this tournament type of style. So I mean, hey, respect to Fez for stepping up late notice. He's gonna go up, for a very tough fight against Idris Virgo. But one thing I will say though about this pro tournament, sponsored by Steak and everything like that, Idris, I will say Idris versus Chris Avila is a fight that I think people really want to see. Idris has always called out Chris Avila, and I think the special thing is the winners both fight during the co-main event of this card. So I think that is really, really cool to see. Especially, yeah, like I said, if Avila and Idris wins, it's like a rivalry that has kind of have to finish some business at the end of the day. So yeah, those two, they're fighting the first the first round of this 4-man tournament. Following that up, Joey Knight, Lil Cray. Lil Cray got his win back in Misfits 16 a week ago against Ace Musa. Joey Knight, who back at Misfits 13 had his first round knockout against Baby Hulk, and he's been in the lab since then, I would assume as well. So Joey Knight, Lil Cray is a very interesting matchup. I feel like in this fight, Lil Cray is the underdog, from what it seems like. It's just because although he did win his last fight, it was a close one. On top of the fact that this is his second chance in the tournament, I also just feel like people just want to see Joey Knight win, just because of the fact that Cray's been in the tournament already before, and we want to see someone new against Yeti Gang. I think that's also another reason why people are kind of vocal of that reason to have Joey Knight instead of Lil Cray. Who knows though? But yeah, I like that fight. That is one of my contenders to being a fight of the night. I'll tell you some other fights though that I do feel like is gonna be fight of the night. But for right now, I think Joey Cray, fight of the night contender. Following that up, George Stokey versus Lewis Bowden. Bowden, yeah, Lewis Bowden. From what I heard about these two, I think they're both in the European football community. So people, again, another fight in the UK that people will enjoy if you're a UK fan. George Stokey's also he's very big on Twitter, from what I've heard as well. So I mean, hey, I think from that perspective, it's a good fight to have on Misfits. For us US fans, I mean, I'm gonna educate myself on who both of these influencers are at the end of the day, but like just because I like this scene a lot. But yeah, I feel like for the general U.S. fans, they're not really gonna care for it, which I don't blame them. To be fair, it's at the end of the day, but we do have to understand this is in the UK. They're gonna cater to the UK audience, especially if it's a UK little fight night. So don't blame them. Don't blame them for this fight at all. Good addition. I believe, from what I heard, Lewis Bowden's from Newcastle, so hometown. Maybe sell some tickets there. Following that, Ashley Raksu, going as Tristan Ham. Both recently been going back and forth on Twitter. I feel like that was a fight that was going to be made just because, both have a chip on their shoulder. I think an interesting thing that they're going to be doing is that if they split 2 rounds each going into the 5th, they're going to have a sudden death round. I really like that rule, or I really like that a lot. It eliminates the draws, and the last round in itself they would pour all their heart out into that one. Just because I feel like both of these fighters, the winner of this could really make a name for himself in this scene. Kind of, I would say, projecting them to better opportunities or better opponents that they could go against in the future. So yeah, good fight by Mams. I like that a lot. The next is Julie Polka versus Crystal Pittman. Not really familiar with Crystal Pittman. Someone told me that she's a BKFC fighter. So it's interesting if Julie Polka does actually lose, hypothetically, we're going to have a BKFC champion as a Misfits Women's Cruiserweight World title for Influencer Boxing Division. I think that's a little interesting, but, fair. It might be just because there's no opponent for Julie Polka. I think maybe if the Misfits 15, if Lauren would have won, I think that would have been the next title fight just because of how thin that division, how thin the division is, to be fair. So, yeah, I mean, as a fight, if you're Misfits, if you're the company Misfits and everything like that, you hope that that Julie Polka does win this fight. You don't want to, obviously, if Crystal Pittman wins, alongside with, how much of a draw she already pulls already, which is, I feel like, not that well. Yeah, it's going to be a BKFC fighter as an influencer champion, so it's interesting. You'd want Julie Polka to win if you are Misfits. Then the co-main event is the winner of the tournament. So the winner of Idris Virgo and Fez, Chris Avila and Benson Henderson will be going at each other then. Excited for that. And then last, the main event, Elbrook versus Jenny Savage. We'll talk about it a little bit. It's a little bit of the same issue with Elbrook and Jenny Savage. I feel like, if Jenny Savage wins, that's going to hurt Misfits from that standard. But I feel like, with their matchmaking, at least for both of them, Julie Polka and Elbrook, they did this matchmaking to cater for their chances of making sure what's best for them for business. Meaning, I don't think these opposition, I should say the opponents for Elbrook and Julie Polka are going to be too major to have an upset within their fight. Because I feel like they're setting up both of them to bigger fights when they fight next. For an example, Elbrook won in that rematch against Paige Van Zandt, and for Julie Polka, I'm not really sure who she's going to go against. A big fight for her. What's next in that? Maybe, you know what? If I know Elbrook and Julie Polka, they fought in Kingpin. If Elbrook really wants to go back up to that cruiserweight weight class, I don't mind seeing an Elbrook Julie Polka rematch. I think that would be a little super fight for this Misfits universe. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the card. If I have to rate the card out of 10, just from the on paper, this card, I give it to 6 to 7 out of 10. Keep in mind it's non-pay-per-view, so I'm putting that into perspective. 6 to 7 out of 10. So I feel like there's a fight that will be interesting for everyone as a influencer boxing fan. So I like that perspective a lot. And I really like the poster. I feel like I say this every time. Yeah, posters for whoever does the posters for Misfits, man, they kill it every single time. The Miami one they killed. I like the Misfits 17 one. This Misfits 18 one with the white background and everything. No, they did a good job. They killed it here. Anyways, if you guys like this video, please like this one. It would really mean a lot. Also, my subscribe goal for the end of hopefully end of this year, end of 2012, whenever I hit it, to be honest. 10,000 subscribers, so please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.